Elder abuse is defined as a single or repeated act or lack of appropriate action occurring within any relationship where there is an expectation of trust, which causes harm or distress to an older person. Elder abuse is a complete violation of human rights, presents in various forms, often more than one type of abuse at any one time. The impacts of elder abuse will vary dependent on the individual and type of abuse. However, generally, elder abuse is associated with significant increased risk of mortality and can lead to long-term psychological consequences. Common reactions to abuse are many and varied, and some people may experience little to no reaction, whereas others may be completely debilitated during and post the abuse that they have experienced. Even if no reaction is detected, this does not mean that the impact on that individual is any less harmful. Some emotional reactions that elder abuse can create is that guilt and the shame and the self-blame and the embarrassment, particularly when the person that is abusing them is related to them, close to them and trusted by them. There is numbness, there is confusion, and a lot of the time there is a lot of denial. Some of the psychological reactions that can occur with elder abuse is depression, post-traumatic stress, a lot of anxiety, low self-esteem. And some of the physical reactions, and these are quite common, sleep and appetite disturbances, palpitations and excess sweating, physical trauma and injury. It's really important to have these conversations about elder abuse so we can start to peel away the layers of this taboo subject and shine a spotlight on an issue that causes untold damage and silences the voices of older people. The purpose of these discussions is to ensure that older people who are at the risk of experiencing any type of elder abuse know that there is support and options should they wish to access them, but more importantly, to let them know that they are not alone, that they have someone to confide in and to tell their story to without any judgment. When Advocare receives calls on the WA Elder Abuse Helpline, the advocate who receives the call will determine, based on the information provided in that call, what types of elder abuse the older person may be experiencing. Financial abuse is the illegal or improper use of a person's finances or property by another person with whom they have a relationship implying trust. This is around selling the older person's home and keeping the money, pressuring them to hand over anticipated inheritance, pressuring them for gifts or loans of money, taking money directly from them. Psychological abuse may be verbal or non-verbal and is usually characterised by a pattern of behaviour repeated over a period of time intended to hold fear over the victim. This can be threatening them with physical harm or abandonment, pressuring them, intimidating them and yelling at them, swearing at them and using foul language, repeatedly telling them that they are stupid or crazy, insinuating that the person has dementia or often forgets offence or agreements, ridiculing them and laughing at the older person. Social abuse is used to isolate an older person and exclude them from communal activities. Social isolation also makes older people more vulnerable to other forms of abuse. Social abuse can present as limiting or preventing contact from family or friends, arranging for an older person's phone to be disconnected without the older person's consent, blocking contacts on phones and computers. Neglect is the failure of a carer to provide the necessities of life to a person whom they are caring. This may be intentional or unintentional. This can be failure to provide adequate food and water, refusing to provide promised support if the older person won't do as they're told, an older person prevented from accessing services. Physical assault is inflicting physical pain or harm to an older person. This can be when an older person is handled too roughly, that their body is gripped until painful and bruised, that they're being pushed or tripped, their hair pulled or pinched. Sexual assault is around touching an older person inappropriately or showing interest in and making inappropriate comments about an older person's body. It is forcing or threatening them to engage in sexual acts. It is grooming, stalking or making sexual threats. It's using sexual innuendos, sexually explicit language or showing pornographic material.
At Advocare's core is the high level of knowledge and skills our advocates have and share daily in making sure older people understand and exercise their rights to protect themselves.